Hello YouTube, Dame_23 here, and welcome back to episode 93 of the Paris 13 Atletico Savers. We look to do it better than PSG. In today's episodes, we do have first versus second, as we will be playing PSG in a game that will decide if we're going to win the title or not this year. But we have had youth intake come in since we last met, which was against Inter. I've played one game since then as well, which we won in the league 3-1 against Montpellier. But we've had an intake, and for the first time, I've actually got to speak about an intake because we do have some players worth mentioning. First, I'm going to speak about star ratings, right? Important to note that if we have a look at Diallo, for instance, where are you? Diallo probably starting, right? He is considered a League One player, a good League One player with potential to be, potential to have some leading ability, right? If you got a Ravella, for instance, at 3-star, he's good to leading, right? Depending on where you look at him. Same with Mel Belai. He constantly switches between 2.5 to 3 stars. So anyone that's got that potential, which is 2.5 star beyond, is actually now considered to be of a level to be a League One footballer. And, when we come to look at youth intake, we always think, if they're nothing better than probably this or better, then they're just rubbish. There's a world where, like, David Yole becomes very, very good. On top of that, he's the only one out of this three that we talk about with that sort of potential, because it means if you hit 3-star, you're either good to leading for League One, which means that we have some decent players. Firstly, when you have a look at David Yole, he's not particularly great. We're meant to get a promising centre-back from our intake, according to what the game said. We never got one, but I'm guessing that he's the guy. The one thing I will say is mentally okay. 5'10", probably too small to be any good, but look, 15, could have a growth spurt and could be decent in our facilities. Imran is, I believe, Moroccan. Yep, he is. There we go, with that name there. The last name I'm not even going to bother pronouncing. He's very good, to be quite fair. 5'8", well-rounded physicals. The 8s and the 10s are all going to get up there, you do feel. He's technically got some very good stats to be a very good midfielder. He's already got good technique with a good first touch. He's already got very good passing with good vision. He's got good natural flair. The one thing I will say is that he does lack in certain other areas. He mentally lacks. He also technically lacks. But, there's a world where he goes to Red Star, who are going to get relegated and play in the 3rd division and carve it up. There's a world where he does develop and hits his 3-star potential, which is very, very good. So with that being said, I think that's a very good pickup. Wendy Dan, great name. I don't know if that's another, one of those weird league names, which is fantastic. I love the name. He is nearly the best of the bunch, right? Nearly. I don't need a striker, but I've got a striker. He's already got 14 passing, 14 technique with 16 teamwork at the age of 16, right? Couple that with 12 vision, very good. He's also a natural dribbler of the football as well. So he's very natural in that, right? He's well-rounded physically. 11s and 10s, they're only going to improve. He's also very well-rounded mentally. There's a lot of 11s, 13s. His composure, his decision-making is not bad. His anticipation. Yes, the off-the-ball is a little bit low, right? But there is potential in him to become very good as well. There's a world where Wendy Dan and the Moroccan guy Imran both grow into leading players for this division, right? I wish they were all a bit taller, but they might have a bit of a growth spurt. But I think Wendy Dan's someone to keep an eye out and maybe could be very, very good. Lucky last, though, is Axel Saint Omar. He's 15. He has 5-star potential. He's definitely the pick of the bunch because as a deep line playmaker support, which we play, he's already got 13 first touch, 13 passing with 14 technique, with 13 vision and 13 work rate. We've already great teamwork and natural determination, and he's very aggressive, which is great. Only issue is physically he lacks because he's 5'2", which means he's going to get bullied off the ball and his jumping reach is deplorable. The one thing I will say is he should at least grow a little bit, but he's obviously going to be very small, and that makes him maybe a little bit unusable. But if he develops everything else, he could be a world-class, give me the ball and let me distribute sort of player. He's also 5-star potential, and we're in League One, which means he has potential to be leading to world-class. We haven't had a player like that come through our intake. So, good intake because there's 3 guys to be excited about. 4 guys, to be excited about. One of them to be very excited about in terms of star rating. But if I had to pick one, I'm almost going to say Wendy Dan's the one. I think if there's a world where he goes and bangs him in the under-19 friendly games that we got, gets a good loan spell in at 17 or 18, there's a world where by the age of 20, this guy's playing first-team football for us and following in the footsteps of what, you guys haven't seen on the loan side of things. But if you have a look at our loans, right, there's a world where Roman Perrin next year is going to be replacing Mendy at left back. Gone out, had a couple of loans, done very well. And the world where Dari Velarak is going to do the same thing on the right hand side. We have a Pimbele Inguez. I think there's a world where this guy's going to come back in a year or two. We're going to loan him back to FCSM next year in 2 years' time, where he's going to come back with that potential and become a right back for us as well. So with that being said, that's what we're doing. That's the goal. We've got some guys coming through. I know I haven't spoiled about youth much. The fact that it's a season, 11, season 10? I think it's 10. It's season 10, and this is the first time we've done a big delve into what the youth intake looks like so far. When guys like this are coming through, the one thing I will say is at least we've got guys that have potential to be decent. We've got some decent youngsters coming through. Hopefully, fingers crossed, will be okay. There's even guys like Emil who he picked up, right? No potential, but he looks fantastic, right? But we'll just stick with it. Kat Kerr as well. No, looks decent. There's guys around. So we need to see what happens. Roman's going to be playing here next year. There's even a well we could be playing Darby, and Pimbele is going to play at right back, and then Inguez will play centre back the whole time. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've tried to ball play and defend the last game, didn't work. But look, see what happens. I'll be back with PSG in a couple games' time. Hopefully they drop a game by then. If not, we'll have a game in hand and maybe jump them. We'll see what happens. We have officially qualified for the Champions League again there, YouTube. So, as you can tell there, we've got our budget. And yet again, it's disappointing. But that we're kind of at that point of the save where if this team isn't good enough, we're going to have to sell some big boys in order to get the finances up. 19.9 mil, it's good money. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad. And we're steadily losing a lot of money because we don't get enough turnover in France. But it's yet again a kick in the teeth where if you go to PSG, right, for instance, and you go to their finances, they've only got 9 mil in the overall balance, but 100% that their owners will give them 150 mil to spend or 100 mil to spend and then pump about 100 mil into the club. I'm not asking for that. I'm just kind of asking for, when we did have 50 or 60 mil in the balance, give me 40 or 50 mil to spend, but we've never had more than 20 mil at any given point to spend in the entire save. And look, it's not me complaining, it is what it is. Important to note as well, we are actually back top of the table as well. If you go back into here and you go to here, after beating Man City, knocking them out of the Champions League, Mourinho, by the way, has not signed a new deal, so we might be rid of the 7 at the back at PSG. They got, not FM'd, but they got held by S10, who scored first, and then it was 1-1, and they clearly look like they rotated after that Champions League game against Man City, which means that even with a game in hand, we are currently top. We do not, not with a game in hand, sorry. We are currently top, equal amount of games played. We still got to play them. Thought I still had my game in hand. I wish we did. And important to note there, if we go back to PSG and their schedule, we play them in between them playing Bayern Munich, which is a good thing because when push comes to shove, if they have a very tough time against Bayern, they're going to have to rotate versus us, and that could be the title. And it'd be interesting to see what happens. We do have them away from home. We don't have a good record there. But look, it's making all for a very, very interesting time. So when we see each other, we would have gone and played Dijon. Hopefully we would have won that one. We just beat Lorient 2-1 in a bit of an interesting game. We absolutely pumped Lyon 3-1. Yet again, we keep conceding goals. It seems to be the issue. Last year it was we didn't score enough. This year it's now we're scoring plenty and conceding too much. Hopefully we come to a year where it's not too bad. But we'll see each other in a second. PSG, 19 mil to spend next year. Something tells me we're not really going to improve the defence unless we find some absolute gems from somewhere. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Season on the line. We're ahead of PSG by a point, and we go away to the Parc des Princes, where Mourinho is looking to not leave, but I haven't re-signed him at all. This is the title. Now, the big thing for us is that they have gone in between this and played Bayern in a very tough game. They've won 1-0 just against Bayern Munich in a game that was fairly even. So if you have a look at it here, PSG, Mbappe started, Mendes started, who's actually suspended, is Fabio Mendes for this next game as well. So all their normal players did start and played minutes, and they only brought on a couple of them off the bench, judging by the match ratings there. So that's a good thing. They've also got Bayern in only 4 days' time, and they know they've got to go away to Germany and get a result in order to go through. Mourinho's yet to win the Champions League with France. So with France, with Paris, with PSG. For us, this is our season. This is the moment. Draw this game, win the rest, we win the league, right? Win this game, we're in a commanding position, right? As well. Look, yes, we still got some difficult games. Still got Lille. We still got S10 who did draw to Paris 13 Atletico. We still got Rennes. Still got OJ Nice, right? But the way that it's been going, it's been us and Paris. It's been us and Paris Saint-Germain this whole way for this season and the last season, really. So you would say that the winner of this game more than likely is going to win the league. Or, if we end up ahead because it's a draw, we're in the box seat. I would say that out of the two teams, who's more likely to falter and throw away being in the winning position? Us, because the game still gives us the odd FMing, and because we're Paris 13 Atletico, where PSG will still win games where they should. But let's go in. We have one issue. We played Dijon, we won 2-0 in full strength. The game said nothing that Cicelo was near a yellow card, but apparently one booking, it was Cicelo, he's out, which means Mendy is not starting. Inakate will be starting, and we're actually going to move him as to a wing-back there on defend, and he's going to sit there. Pembele's still going to play full-back on attack. For this game, though, Tosin is coming in for Diallo. I know they have a good understanding, but I prefer to have the experienced Tosin in there as well. Outside of that, it's Kim, Pembele, Tosin Inguez, and Inakate playing at left back. Kana, Luis Fernando, and Ravella. Bakayoko, Chevalier, and Mokoku. It is a big old game. I wonder how full strength PSG are coming here. We wonder. I see Mbappe's name. That's probably all that needs to be said, really. When Mbappe starts, it's Mbappe. Last time when we beat him, we managed to get him off early. They actually looked fairly well rested. Capolo, Garcia, and Fuentes played at the back. Hakimi, Vitina, in there, Nuno Mendes. The other Mendes obviously out suspended. Mbappe with Carboni, who did play, as well with Jan Filliman, who is fairly fantastic, to be quite fair, as well at 29. He's not too bad. Pavard on the bench, Kimpembe on the bench. Angelo, who started last game out, has been dropped. Zanolo, who is leaving on a free to join Valencia. Lacroix, yet again, doesn't play. I would love to use him. If they would ever let him go, I would sign Menace Lacroix in a heartbeat. He just wants A, too much wage, B, they don't want to sell him to me. If they ever turned around and said, here's 12 mil, he would be in the team, straight off the bat. And then Pavard. Pavard is just, I wish Pavard was playing. Anyway, they're very good. Let's see what happens. Look, it's a big game. See what happens. The best defense versus I think they now have the best attack and the best defense in the league. So we've not. Yeah, look, I still reckon we were better last year. We have a better squad now on paper, but we're better last year. Inguez back to centre back, though, is always a good thing for us. Away we go. First thing we are going to do is on that side there. Wait. Fullback on defend. You sit there and you do nothing, son. Straight away, Inakate, you're in there because Mendy's physically not capable. You're sitting in. You're doing nothing against Hakimi and everyone. Fernando wins the ball. Punts one looking for Mokoku, ain't going to find him. Coppola now. Hakimi again. Bellashone. Coppola. Hakimi. Ball over the top. Inguez heads back there to Kim. Very well done. On a good day, Cicelo and Inguez are two 4-star players. I'm now just going to play them as the left-sided pairing of the left back and left centre back. They play for Argentina. They're going to play together there for me. Inguez is going to play centre back for most of it. We are going to look to sign a right back and a centre back next year. Ravella turns. Luis Fernando's been fantastic for me. Mokoku makes a run. Mokoku's been found. Keeper came. Keeper's beat. It's 1-0. We lead inside 10 minutes. At the Parc des Parents. The Parc des Parents? The parents? Maybe their parents are upset and they're crying. Maybe that's what I said. The Parc de Paris. Here we go. The Prince has been shot. Mokoku makes a great diagonal run between three centre-backs. And with minimal fuss, just knocks it past Donnarumma, who was left helpless by the first touch. We lead 1-0, 15 minutes played, and Bakayoko has a free kick in goal-scoring range. Bakayoko, very good at free kicks, wanted by Liverpool. Here we go. We're 2-0 up. We scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. PSG, only a few days after beating Bayern, have maybe rocked up a little bit legless, a little bit not just quite right For once, maybe the fixtures have been kind to us. We're 2-0 up, and it's another highlight. Ravella, Pimbele, Bakayoko now. Chips one. Makoku's effort has been blocked by Akimi, or else it was 3. Drop Bear comes in. Evening, mate. We are live on stream. Links down below here, YouTube. You come into us leading 2-0 against PSG. Donnarumma, what a save. It could have been a goal for Tosin. 16 minutes, all Paris 13 Atletico. They are yet to register a shot. We've had 7 shots, 5 on target. We realistically could be 3 or 4 goals up right now. Long may this last. Pimbele, Ravella, Luis Fernando, great touch, and then he was crunched by Vitina. So there, and Mbappe, to be fair, to impressed really well there too. It was probably should have got rid of it first time. Anyway, ball in, and just like that, Mbappe scores. First chance for Paris Paris Saint-Germain. And there we are. Of course, ball in that we don't deal with. Inguez has missed the interception, which you don't see too often. And there you are. Paris 13, Atletico, 8 shots 6 to PSG's 4 shots 1. 1 shot on target, 1 goal. If they now score another, I'll be livid. Coppola 2-0. 2 shots on target for 2 goals. Football Manager, why do you do this to me? Two shots on target, 0.67 XG, 2 goals. Mate, I made my first duck since under 16s. It was great fun. Finals was over, we got beat. Yeah. Two. Great start, and then 2 goals, 2 shots on target, 2 goals for Paris 13 Atletico. For PSG, why do I keep saying it around? Backwards. Fucking thank you, fucking flog. 55 minutes played. Oh my god, another penalty. FM! I hate this game of a vengeance, man. A ball in a no man's land where they're not even winning it, so we push some guy over. 2 shots, 2 on target for 2 goals, and then a penalty which Mbappe doesn't miss. There you go. Season over. Season over. We led 2-0 against PSG, and then FM said nope. Really is the worst game they made. Inguez, Inacate, Luis Fernando, Cana, Ravella. Luis Fernando, Cana, Ravella, Bakayoko, Makoku, away from goal. Oh my god, what was that? Makoku's done some weird turn outside of the boot, left peg, and Donnarumma didn't even move. It's 3-3. I don't know what I've witnessed, but it was delightful. That's a great finish from Makoku. It's 3-3. 67 minutes played. Tosin's having a stinker. His name's Diallo. Inacate for Mendy. I know he doesn't have the speed, but Mendy, Inacate's not really at his best of game. Fernando's played well. Ravella apparently played okay. Maxine definitely has not. His name is Dosu. There we go. Free kick. Oh, God. Fuck's sake. 4-3. Great game for the neutral, but far out, man. Salama won from distance maybe as well. Here we go. 4-2-3-1. We go for it late doors. Need a goal. We need a goal. Is there going to be a moment Football Manager. Will there be a moment, FM? Maybe for them to make it 5-3. Kim punches. Zanolo. Great save from Kim, but that's pretty much all she wrote. There's the title, boys. In a 4-3 thriller, we're going to lose the title by a point this year. We led 2-0. And then FM said, now PSG are going to score 2 shots. Next 2 shots they're going to have, 2 on target, 2 goals. PSG's first 2 shots on target went in. Of course they did. We lose 4-3 in an absolute thriller. We played pretty well. PSG, to be fair, after they went 2-0 down, PSG were alright. But it's the fact their first 2 shots of the match was 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. What do you do? And a penalty for fucking nothing. They need to cut out. You never see penalties get given. You literally see guys in real life football get fucking hung around the neck and tackled into the ground. Referees say no. VAR looks, nah, we don't want to be part of that. Every second game, push. Get off it. Honestly. FM 23, mate. What a shit game. Look, we played well. We played like champions. Unfortunately, we come up against a side that is just too good. 4-3. We're 2 points back. We need PSG to do something. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that is the title over. Because we need PSG to drop a game. And, well, PSG haven't dropped the game in many games at all. Rennes, OJ Nice, Toulouse, Bordeaux, Monaco, and AJ Aurier. Maybe they drop the next game out to Rennes away after beating Bayern. Maybe Monaco second versus third do us a favour. Second and final day of the season. We have only lost 2 games all year. That game against Marseille and the PSG game. We led in both. The Marseille game 2-0 down, we led 3-2, absolutely dominated. They scored 2 goals out of nothing. Lost. Led 2-0 against PSG, you just witnessed it. And there we are. Drew to Monaco in a game we dominated. Drew to Dijon in a game we absolutely dominated. And drew to Lille in a game we absolutely dominated. PSG, they're just better. They just grind out enough results. Yet again, it's going to be disappointment. I'll see you guys for the end of season. We don't even have the French Cup final to give you. I don't know. We're going to see you for some end of season game, or it's either mathematically going to be impossible or somehow PSG has screwed the pooch. Till then, I'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.